this. Okay, here we go, part 2. Hello, welcome back to part 2 of Witchy Wednesday with me, Rhomany, from Rhomany's Realm, and we've been looking at some magazines in the break, and I thought I would show you how I use these kind of things in my Book of Shadows and my journals and things. I'm one of those people who likes to cut and paste. I am a cut and paster. I also like to write, but I like to cut and paste. So a lot of my elements in my journals tend to be collage from magazines. And I'll do various things with it. Sometimes it's just a piece that I've cut out that I'll revisit later, and other times it's a really nice picture that I'll use as part of an art journal page and alter in different ways. Ooh, it's cold. So let me show you what my journal is at the moment. This is my journal for March. I have some individual videos coming up on things like my bullet journal, which is in here, but I'm just going to show you the general setup. This is a traveller's notebook style book that Ray Blake made for me. It's beautiful. It's very floppy, but it feels like the original Midori. I love it. It's got my name on it. And it fits moleskin cahiers. Now it also fits the softback moleskins. You can either fit 3 cahiers in here and a softback moleskin, or you can fit 5 or 6 cahiers in here, but it does depend how full they are. I've started off with 5, and obviously it's the beginning of the month, so it's quite not very chunky, but by the time it gets to the end of the month it will be chunky. So I allow it room to grow. I don't like it to be stuffed to the gills when I start. I like it to get thicker as it goes along. I like it to start out reasonable. So my setup at the moment, I got these are Leuchtturm pen loops. They just stick on, and I like using these because they come off really easily. So I've just got 2 red ones on here. My elastic is very simple. It's the original elastic, and I've got my German Shepherd charm on there as always. I've got my clip on the front. I use this just for, you know, collecting, like I've got bits and pieces that I might want to use in my journal at some point. I quite often just clip them in there like that. Yes, I'm still using my Filofax. Just because I'm using one thing doesn't mean I'm not using other things. But this is my all-in-one journal at the moment. I've got my Midori wallet in here, and you can see here how much difference there is between the regular Midori and the Kaye, the moleskin Kaye. So this is Midori size, which is 4 inches, and the Kaye is 5 inches. That is the difference. They're exactly the same height, it's just an inch wider. I've got in here my Hobonichi stencil and a ruler, which I use for my bullet journal, and then in here I've got just some odd bits of square paper, which again I use in my bullet journal rather than crossing things out. If I need to re-header something, I cut a piece of square paper out and I stick it on top. And I had a couple of what are they called? Project Life cards in here, but I've used some of them, so I need to restock some new ones. I've got my little moleskin diary. This is one of the set of 12 coloured ones that I got. I got these on eBay for an absolute steal. They were £9. I like them. I'm not enamoured with the fact that half the book literally is repeated stuff. So you've got all the bump that you get in a moleskin anyway. So you've got international sizes and measurements and flights and travel plans and time zones and all that crap. Then you've got a year at a glance calendar for this year and next year. Then you've got monthly calendars for the entire year. it just seems a waste of space for me. Then you've got this year's calendar, and then you've got a personal data page, and that is in every single one of these. It seems a bit of a waste of space to me. But then you've got a day to a page at the back. And I've been using this for different things. For January, I used it as just a very quick way of writing what I'd done for the day. For February, I was using it, I was doing my chronodex in here for how I'd spent my time, but I've figured out a way of doing that in my bullet journal. So this month I'm doing a challenge in it. I'm doing the Rock Your Handwriting Challenge, which I haven't started yet, but I've just put on the front page the list, and I can work through it at my own pace. Write it in on the lines, and because my writing's got very sloppy lately. I think I'm not doing it regularly enough, and I just want to get back to my nice neat writing. So then I've got my bullet journal, which again, just a Moleskine Cahier, and I'm not doing anything fancy in it. It's just black pen and highlighter. I will do a separate video on this. Then I have a plain Moleskine Cahier where I just put ideas and quotes and things I want to look at and stuff that I'm working on, things like that. Sketches for ideas. This is my journal, which I'll come back to in a minute. This is my book of shadows, which I'll come back to in a minute, and this is my magical collage. So these three books are basically my journal, book of shadows, inspiration boards, if you like. Is it really a book of shadows? I don't know. It's more of a journal than a book of shadows. Book of shadows to me implies it's stuff that is set, it's correspondences and things like that, whereas the journal is more kind of things I'm discovering and thinking about and talking about as I go along kind of stuff. So rather than having 4 of these books all looking identical, I'm collaging the fronts. I haven't done anything with this one yet. This is my ideas book. And my bullet journal is a sticker-free zone. We don't stick stuff in our bullet journal. We just get shit done. Okay? My idea book, I will do something with that. I might stick a colouring page on there, actually, so I've got somewhere to doodle. Might stick a doodle page on one and a colouring page on the other. And then my regular journal. This is... quite often find stuff on Facebook and things, like little memes and stuff and funny things that I print out. Like this one. I absolutely love this one. Edgar Allan Poe. And Piglet comes to the door and says, "Have you seen Eeyore? He's been missing for a couple of days now." And there's a trap door, and Eeyore's tail is hung up on the wall, and it's a thump, 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 thump. It's got him hidden in the basement. So just as I see things that I think are funny, I'm just going to put on there, just to collage my journal. And there's the front, there's the inside, there's the back, and there's the inside there. So I've got plenty of space. Plenty of real estate to collage in on and stick odd bits and pieces, because I tend to put them in my journal, and I don't really want my journal to be stuff I've printed off Facebook. I want it to be more doodles and pictures and stuff I've done, my writing and stuff, my stuff, as opposed to stuff I found on Facebook. I like this one. Reasons I can relate to a raccoon. Dark circles around the eyes, small and chubby, eats junk food, stays up all night, and cute but will fight you to the death. Oh, and then I saw this and it said, "I decided February was a trial month too, I'll sort my life out in March." Because there's been this whole thing of February was the new January this year, wasn't it? Everybody gave up on January and said, "You know what, I'll just start again in February." Well, yeah, there's some of us are starting again in March. And then this was from Four Queens. Kellyanne Maddox posted this the other day. Stay focused and extra sparkly. I'm going to make that my goal for the month. Oh, it's got a bit of glare there, haven't we? You can't see, but I've stuck a piece of square paper on here, and I'm just collaging things on it. This is a Chinese, for the Chinese New Year, this is a dog. It's not a dog year, but I liked the dog, and I like dogs, and I liked him, so I put him on there, because I can. The daily challenge that I'm doing, there's an app called the Daily Challenge, and I've been doing it, and a few other people have been doing it with me, and it's just easy things every day that, you know, you can just do 1 or 2 things a day just to push yourself along, and there's different tracks you can do. I can't show you on my phone because it flashes on the screen, but there's things like the one I'm doing is goals. And yesterday's challenge was take 5 minutes to read about how a famous person you admire reached their goals. So I went and looked up J.K. Rowling, discovered that she took several years to finish the first Harry Potter book and was rejected by all major publishers before being picked up by Bloomsbury. And I also found out she worked for Amnesty International straight out of college because she was fluent in French, and now that she's found a very wealthy life for herself, she supports the charity financially. I thought that was really interesting. Today's, I can't remember what today's is. There was one the other day that was break down a goal you have into 10 steps. So I've got in my bullet journal, and I've done most of the spring cleaning of the flat, but I still have to do my bedroom. So I broke my bedroom down into 10 steps that I can do. So in 10 days, in theory, this should be done, she says. I did the bins today, and I'm going to change the bedding because I'm going to have a shower tonight, so I'll change the bedding tonight and put new sheets on. So that'll be 2 out of the way today. So yeah, that daily challenge is pretty good, and if you connect through Facebook, you can connect with people that you know, so you can comment on what they do and stuff like that. And there's tracks like movement, you know, if you want to do basic exercises, or you can do a running app, or you can do and they last for 28 days. So for 28 days you get prompts about this particular track. So you might want to set goals, or eat healthier, or get a little bit of exercise, or start moving, or focus and meditation. There's all sorts in there. It's a really good app. I'm doing the goal setting one because I suck at setting goals. And it's harder than I thought because I don't do it. It's quite, I don't know. There's something about goal setting I find counterproductive, and I can't figure out why. So I'm hoping that this particular track will help me figure out why. So then this is a commission I did, because obviously I don't have the picture anymore. So I took a photograph of it and I printed it out. Because what I've found is I quite often don't keep a record of my commissions. So I thought I would print it out and put it on here, so I've got it. And then I skipped a page because I wanted to put this on a double page. This is the colouring book spread for February from Susie Blue's Patreon. So I'm going to paint this, so I've put it down with matte medium, and I've put matte medium on both pages, so it's like gesso, but it's not powdery. I can still do colour pencil and stuff over it. So I'll use that as an art page, and then I can just carry on writing around it. That's all I've done in it, because obviously it's only the 2nd of March. And then in the middle I've got my peerless watercolours. I don't love these. I think for the money they are not as good as everybody keeps going on about them. I think they're horrendously expensive. I would rather use my little set of Winsor & Newton watercolours, in all honesty. But the fact that they fit in your folder like this, and they're completely flat, and you can put them in the middle of your journal and everything, does make them incredibly handy. So I've put them back in here for the odd moments when I want to journal when I'm out and about. But if I'm sat at my journaling desk, which I've now got set up over there, then I would use my regular watercolour paints, my regular palette. I wouldn't bother using these. I don't rate them particularly. Then I've got I found this in one of my Spirit and Destinies. I don't know if you can see it on the camera too well, but it's a lovely picture of a girl standing in a river looking all nymph-like with light coming out of her hands. And the thing that came with it was one of these wish fulfillment type things. And it says, create a magical collage using pictures and illustrations of items that depict everything you desire. Well, that is a vision board. So I've been wanting to do collage for a while, where it's not just, oh, I'm sticking this in my journal because I've printed it out, or I like that quote, or I like this, or whatever. Just stuff where I can collage things that have no meaning, but I don't particularly want them in my journal, but I want to keep them because the picture inspires me. So for instance, I printed that out, which is exactly the same layout as my kitchen, and I rather like the little table and chairs arrangement in the middle there. And now that I've cleared a big space by moving my table, I've got room for that. So I just printed out a picture and stuck it in here, and then wrote a little bit about why I like that and why it appeals to me. So it's basically like an analog Pinterest board, if you like. But anything I see that I think, oh, I really like that, but I don't necessarily want to use it in my journal, or perhaps recipes that I see, or things that I really like the look of, and I think, oh, I might try and make one of those, or I might try and find one of those to purchase myself, I can put in here. So it's kind of like a wish list, but a visual wish list, if that makes sense. And then this one is my book of shadows, but more of a journal book of shadows than a static book of shadows. And as always, it's got my typical brand of spiritual humour on it. So I've got I like the little dog, but also it's the year of the fire monkey, so I put him on there. We've got an Egyptian goddess, which I just like the picture. And then this is me trying to meditate. See the little dog? Come on in a piece, I don't have all day. That's me, that is. And then there's this one, language warning. I'm in a really good place spiritually, so please F off. Namaste. I just thought it were really funny. I made a bookmark out of the back of my Moleskine Cahier, and this is going to be, it's actually going to be a creative quickie that's going up tomorrow. So there's a separate video on how to do that. And in here, this is where I'm using stuff like this. So rather than making a book of shadows, I'm kind of doing it chronologically. It's what I wanted to do in the big book, but the big book is a bit too cumbersome. This just being the same size as my journal, and I can do one in a month or two, put it all together, you know, just throw in what I like and what I don't like and sort out what I want to keep, and I can journal in here and do my tarot readings in here and stuff like that, and then anything that I want to keep I can put into my big book. So this is more of a book of mirrors, a lot of people would call it. It's more of a journal. It's similar to what I've been doing in my Midori that Janelle made me, my big beautiful Midori. But that thing weighs a ton. And I find, because it's got 7 different books in it, I find I don't need to, but I find I tend to put all my tarot in one, and all my astrology in one, and all this in one, and all that in one, whereas this is chronological through the month. So at the moment I've got a few bits and pieces in here from February, the last week of February. Again, I'm collaging the covers, and I'll put clear contact paper over it when I'm done, and put the date on it. I found this on Facebook and I really liked the picture, and it says, "Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm," and the warrior whispers back, "I am the storm." I really liked that. And then this, again, I put this on Facebook, what is my purpose in life? And it's all about how you don't need to look for your destiny, you don't need to look for your purpose, because it's perfectly plausible that you've already fulfilled it. And if your destiny is going to come to you, you know, destiny is certain. Destiny is a certainty. So if destiny exists, it will find you. You don't need to go looking for it. It will find you, and maybe it already has. Maybe your purpose on this life, in this life, was, 10 years ago when you stopped a little boy running out into the road and he's going to cure cancer in 20 years' time. Maybe that was your purpose in life. So, just taking a much more relaxed view of what you're here for and what the purpose of life is. And I've stuck some grid paper on there because I'm going to write about that. And I thought I could treat it like an art journal then. And then I've got, this was from Spirit and Destiny February. They had a whole 6-page article, so I just took out what I thought was useful. So this is all making oils out of different herbs and things. So I cut the picture out because I really liked that picture. And it says inspiration of the month, making health-giving oils at home. And it had an article on how to make oils and stuff, but I already know that. I don't need to put it in my journal. But they had some correspondences and things for different stuff that I didn't know. So anything I didn't know, I put in here. Anything I did know, I missed out, because if I already know it, there's no point writing it down, is there? I already know it. And then I've got a page started here on Chinese astrology, so the year of the fire monkey, and I'm going to do some writing on here to say, the year of the fire monkey. But again, I cut out the monkey, and then because I'm a pig, so I cut out the pig for the year of the monkey. I don't need the rest. I just need the pig. And then this was, because there was red on here, I just continued it along. So I was editing this, and then this, I don't know if you can see, but this was the top of the page. So I drew the circle in. And what I was going to do, if I can find it, whoops. Here we go. This is it. Whoops. Something fell on the floor. I was just going to make it look like it's a souffle pen, so it doesn't stand out straight away. And I don't think it works properly either. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Oh, these pens. I love souffle pens, but the amount of times I pick one up and it just doesn't work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Hang on. Let me get my... Got my Signo here. That should work. There we go. So I'm just continuing the pattern that they already had on the page. And then I could, where's my black pen? That's not my black pen. Okay, can't find anything. Goodness me. Ah, there's a black pen. So, black pen. And I can put on here. And let's do some block letters. Can you see what I'm doing? This light's very bright. It's almost too bright. But once I've written in, I write in kind of fast and loose, and then I go back in and I colour in what I want to do. I wish I could zoom in on this thing. I can't zoom in on it. Another reason I prefer YouTube, I can zoom on that one. But basically what I'm doing is anywhere there's a curve that sticks out, I embellish the curve, so I make it a bit bigger and then I colour it in. Really fast and simple way of making some embellished writing. And then to integrate the collage with the rest of it, I'll draw over the corner of the collage there. Still very glary, isn't it? I wonder if it'd be better if I turned the main light off. Is that what I did last time? Well, that's a little bit better. You can see sort of what I'm doing a bit better now. It'd be nice if I could bring the camera down a bit closer to what I'm doing, but I haven't figured that out yet. I will put that on my list of things that I need to do, how to figure out how to bring the camera a bit closer to what I'm doing. And then if there's no curves on the letters, I just add an extra bit. Like that, to the bottom of the letter. Or the top. See, you don't have to be good at calligraphy to do fancy lettering. What kind of pen am I using? I think this is a Uniball Jetstream. It just happens to be waterproof. It's actually not very good for colouring in. It's very, very thin. But it doesn't matter as long as it's waterproof. I like to use a waterproof pen for lettering because I never know if I'm going to throw watercolour over the top. In actual fact, it would be easier with this pen, which is a Uniball pin, but it's thicker, so it'd be easier to colour in with. It's not a lot thicker because I don't use thick pens. So if you use different fonts like this, it kind of looks like one of those, you know, the t-shirts with the messages on where they're all written in different fonts. It's kind of very hipster, if I can say that without offending people. I'm sure somebody will be offended. Oh, it does have a fine point. It's a 0.38. Writes as a 0.2. It's one of those Japanese style pens, but it's a Uniball Jetstream 3, which is the 0.3mm. Writes for the 0.2, and you can get one that's thinner than that as well. But that's my favourite. Because I've got tiny writing, I absolutely love writing with very thin, fine point pens. So this one I'm not going to colour it in black. Because where would be the fun in that, right? I've got the hiccups. Where have I got the hiccups from? Let's make the cursive here stand out. My hands are freezing. I think my heating's gone off. It was snowing this morning. Craziness. It's March, it's spring, it was snowing. Oh, I can hear snorting. Maddie's awake. Hello, snorty big dog. Hello. Hello, my love. Have you come to say hello? Hi. Oh, you look all discombobulated because you just woke up. You just woke up. Hello. She's had one of those naps where you wake up and you don't know what day it is or what year it is or what your name is. You got 16 inches of snow yesterday. Crikey. Whereabouts are you? Can't be Canada because they've still got 6 feet of snow. Where's still getting snow? Oh, Carrie's still getting snow. Mid. It's not Midwest, is it? Chicago, Illinois area. She said they're still getting snow. They had spring for 3 days. Michigan. That's not far from Chicago, Illinois kind of area, is it? I don't know what Michigan. Is Michigan a state or a city? I can't remember. Geography's not my strong point. It's spat snow in Ohio. Oh, near Detroit. Okay. I know where Detroit is. Right, there we go. There's that. And then I think what I'll do, since I've got them out anyway, if I can find... Oh, I'm sat at my desk. I don't need to find anything. I've got water here. Since I've got them out. So these peerless watercolours are just basically flat pieces of paint. Like I say, I'm not a huge fan because all the colours are the same. Like seriously, how many pinks and reds do you need? However, I'm going to use... I'm going to make a fiery thing. So I'm going to start with a very hot yellowy colour at the top here. It's a bit too wet. Hot yellowy colour. Hot red colour. They work better with a water brush. to be fair. Hello, was there any paint on that one? It's got the plastic on top of it. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. We'll try that again. Oh, professional here, I tell you. Put the red at the bottom. Now, obviously red and yellow will make orange, but what I'm going to do is actually use an orange. In between. Because that will make a brighter orange than mixing the two colours together. And then you take a clean, slightly damp brush and you just blend the edges. Like so. Just to take away the harsh bits. I think we could stand to have a little bit more red in that corner. It's not a very bright red. Oops. It's really not a very bright red at all. And all the other reds are pink. Oh, let's get rid of that bit. Blend. There we go. Fire monkey. So there you go, there's that. Let's redo these white spots now that they've dried a little bit. Sometimes over black you need a second layer. Goodness me, do any of my white pens work anymore? Whiteout pen, that'll work. There we go. So yeah, it's kind of like art journaling, but it's not art journaling, it's more embellishing, I suppose. I don't know. I wouldn't call it art journaling, but it's not just cutting things out of a magazine and sticking it in and leaving it either. I like to write, or you know, whatever. Like that. I want to write my thoughts about that as a philosophical thing almost. I will probably add various bits and pieces of correspondences around the edges of here. Is that dry? Oh, yes. This is because I'm a January baby. The end of January, beginning of February is Rowan. So what I did was I wrote out what the Rowan thing is, and I've done a little square thing, and I'm going to draw some rowan berries. A rowan berry and some leaves in there. So that was everything I wanted out of my February one. So I think I want for March, I want this Pretty butterflies. I didn't see those when I flipped through earlier. There was a Wheel of the Year thing here earlier. I quite like that. There it is. Make sure there's nothing on the back I want to read. I've read most of this anyway. See, this is the Wheel of the Year, but it's talking about agricultural festivals because it's all about Farmer's Almanac. But they're the pagan festivals. The pagan festivals were the farmers' festivals. So it all kind of melds in together. So I thought I could use this when cutting a curve. Keep the scissors still and turn the paper. You'll get a smoother curve. Star at the top, or shall I put it on the side? I think I'll put it there, so it's because that's midnight. That's where you start, isn't it? So I'll do it there. Anything else I want to put? Could kind of do this as a spring page. I like that dog. I have to use him at some point for something. He's on thick paper though, so I won't use him just yet. Oh, how about the little animals? Could use some little baby animals, maybe. Something green. Spring is green. Green stuff. Yeah, that's nice and green, isn't it? That could be good. That could work. That's a bit too... That's a nice space. A little bit too tropical, that one, with the palm fronds. Oh, come on, it's a spring magazine. There's no pictures of green grass. I like that. Okay, there's no pictures of green grass. I like this one. I think I'll take that out. Where's my ruler gone? I'm just kind of doing this because I thought I'd show you how this is how I work in my journal, my book of shadows, everything. I just go through and pull out things that I like, or I draw on things, or I write on things, and just see what fits. I think I like those little baby bunnies. I kind of want something. I want green. That's too many people with green. That's greenish. That's tropical. I don't want tropical. That's tropical as well because it's a tropical garden. That's too small. I think I'll have to go with that one. Like this. So yeah, I think I'll go with that one. It's not as green as I would have liked, but it'll do. So about that width, I think. Yeah, it's just a start. A little bit too wide. Let's lose a little bit that side. That's better. You've all gone very quiet. Are you playing along? So put that there, that at the top there. Do I want to use this? I kind of thought I might use it. Oh, my throat's going dry. Must be time to stop soon. Ooh, 8:15. That's quite late. I was only going to go on till 8. I love doing this kind of thing though. I get so caught up in it. There's a lot to be said for doing your own artwork in your journals, but there's also a lot to be said for just chilling and cutting and pasting. Oh, that's not quite big enough. Never mind, I can use that for something else. Ooh, I know. No, I like that, but I don't want to. It's not working on this page, so I'll keep that later. think I'm going to put, I'm just going to round that corner because it will look better if it's not square on that corner. And stick it down. If I'm doing arty stuff like that that colouring page I've glued down, I've done that with matte medium because that means I can use paint or colour pencil or anything I like over the top of it. If I'm just sticking stuff down to a page like this to make collagey things, I tend to just use glue stick. Pop that down there, and the secret with glue stick, just like washi tape, is to use a card of some kind to even out the spread of the glue and squeeze out all the air underneath. You know, when you get your bits of your paper kind of coming up and you get air bubbles underneath over time, that's because you didn't glue it down properly. You haven't spread the glue out. And then I like to just check the corners, because if it's going to miss anywhere, it's going to be the corners. Hi, Scoob. Hello. Oh, you woken up, have you? I'm awake. Okay. Oh, you're awake, are you? Okay. I know, I can hear you. I know. I know. Hello. Make sure we get this the right way up. Where are those little animals gone? Let's put some little animals in the grass, shall we? Here's the little animals. What should we have? Is there anything on the back I want to keep? Mint chocolate face mask. I'm allergic to mint. I don't need that. I know how meanders work and I don't like goose eggs, so I don't need any of that. I think I want that family of foxes, because foxes are one of my totem animals. So I think I'll have that little family of foxes there. Scooby-Doo, shush. Yes, I know, it's nearly tea time. But it's not yet, is it? It's nearly tea time, but not yet. We don't need to sing for our supper. We will get fed at tea time. I know. Mummy's nearly done. Shh, 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 shh. Oh, he's started now. It was my dad's birthday yesterday. Scooby was singing down the phone to him. Baby goats. I do like baby goats, but I think for my Book of Shadows type journal, I'm going to have to come with a name for it, aren't I? Maybe I'll just call it my Book of Mirrors, or just my Book of Shadows. I don't know. I think for my spiritual type journal, I would rather use the foxes, because the foxes are one of my spirit animals. They're one of my totems, so. And they nearly always make an appearance around this time of year. So I think we'll have a little family of foxes in that corner there. Settle down, Scoob. Come on, give me a minute. Good boy. A little family of foxes there. And then I'll use a couple of different greens just to colour that white and blend it in just a little bit. Obviously it's not going to be a complete match, but if I can just take the starkness of the white off. Scooby, shush. Come on, you're being naughty now, settle down. Come and sit in your bed. Good boy. Sit in your bed. Sit in your bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Bed. Good boy. Stay there now. Good boy. Mummy won't be long, I promise. Actually not the best green to do this with because it's the professional ones. They're quite hard. You have to put a lot of layers on, whereas with the soft ones here, whoops, craft a lunch. With these soft ones it's a bit easier. It's too minty. I want that one and that one and maybe that one. These are a lot softer, so they're a lot easier to get some colour down with. A bit of darker green over the top of that. Blend it in a bit more. Scoop, settle down, come on. Blend it out with a mid green. There we go, that's got rid of the stark white. Now it kind of blends in a little bit better. Obviously you can do that with anything, pens or paints or... Ah, there's my white Posca. I'm determined to get these white dots working right. They're getting bigger and bigger every time I use them. Do them though. Scoob, quiet, come on. There you go, now they're actually white. So that's my start of my spring page, so that's coming up March 1st. So now it's more of a journal, so it's chronological. This is what I was talking about when I first started doing my Book of Shadows, way back. And I said I wanted it to be like, you know, I'd do whatever I found as I found it, and then it would be chronological. So as I, you know, I found the bits about the oils, and then I found a bit about the fire monkey, and then I found about a bit of rowan tree. So it's going through the year, and now it's spring, Ostara, you know, and then progressing through the year. That's kind of what I want to do. And I think if I do it that way, it'll fill up. Because what I find is I tend to collect lots of bits and never actually get around to sitting and doing them. So if I treat it more like a journal like this, then I think I will do more. And I'm not worried about, you know, if I cut things out of magazines or if I write them out, or, you know, I could have written all this out, you know, I could have drawn a fire monkey. But why draw it out when I've got it there and it's already written in a clear and concise manner? I can just put it there as a reference. You know, it doesn't have to be handwritten, beautifully calligraphied to be what I would use as a Book of Shadows. So there you go, that's what I'm doing. So I will just carry on with that, you know, as I find things in my books that I want to, you know, as I'm reading through my book through the month, I will add things in. As I find things online, I will add them in. When I do my tarot readings, I'll add those in. I'll probably do my moons for the month and my planetary transits and things, all that kind of stuff, just as it comes up during the month, as opposed to now I'm going to do a section on herbs, and now I'm going to do a section on crystals, and now I'm going to do a section on the tarot. Yeah, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a journey, more of a journey than a show and tell kind of book. So there you go. So I'm going to call it quits there for the night, and probably go and do a little bit more on my own. So let me know how you're getting on with your books at some point. I will be putting this up on YouTube shortly, so if you want to comment on the YouTube stream, on the YouTube video, on how you're getting on with your books, that would be great. Come and tell us in the Witchy Wednesday group on Facebook. Again, link will be down below if you're watching this on YouTube. I will put the link that you can come and join us there, and I will possibly see you next week. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do these, whether I'm going to do Witchy Wednesday every week, or whether I'm going to do it like every couple of weeks, or 1 or 2 a month, or whatever. I'm trying to find a good balance, because I like to do these Saturday ones every week. So I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I will see you very soon for another one.